Now, have you wondered how Larry Goodman, the beef baron, has been able to afford to take full control of the Galway clinic and also become an even bigger shareholder in the Blackrock Clinic and Hermitage Clinic in recent times? The answer might be in the Irish Farmers Journal current edition, which has done a superb job of investigating the full value of the Goodman empire, working out that he made profits of €172 million last year, and that the business is worth about €4.5 billion. Lorcan Allen from the Irish Farmers Journal joins us. How have you been able to get all of this information, Lorcan?
Hi, Matt. Well, it's interesting. It's, Larry Goodman, like a lot of wealthy individuals in this country, tend to try and keep their businesses as private as possible, and it's often been difficult to get any real insight into how they operate. But in recent years, a number of his businesses that are registered in Europe have provided some visibility into the size of his business. So we've been able to see from 13 companies across his groups, across the Goodman Group, that we have accounts for that that are worth about €4.5 billion in assets, and as you said, made profits of €172 million. So by any measure, it's an enormous business empire that he's built for himself.
Indeed. And how much tax does he pay on that, and where does he pay his tax?
Well, Larry Goodman's businesses are registered across a whole myriad of countries. He has obviously a substantial beef industry or beef processing business here in Ireland and the UK. But the companies that we've been looking at in this week's Farmers Journal, there's 5 key companies that he has in Luxembourg, and these are kind of act as the financing arm of the Goodman Group. They don't employ anyone, and speaking to people inside in the finance industry, these sort of arrangements are very much tax-driven, quite legitimate, but tax-driven nonetheless. And those 5 companies in Luxembourg, they made profits of about €68 million last year alone, and there was tax provisions in the accounts for just less than 192,000. So that's a tax rate of less than about 0.3%, which is considerably lower than the 12.5% that we have here in Ireland.
But there would be assets in Ireland which probably would, or profits in Ireland which would attract the normal Irish corporate tax rate, would there?
Absolutely, Matt. And I mean, because of the unlimited structure of the Goodman Group here in Ireland, there's no visibility into how those businesses operate. And of course, all the employees and that are also employed by the group here, there would be tax paid on PRSI and things like that by ABP.
He also, of course, has an enormous property empire here and in Ireland. But how is his beef business doing this year with COVID-19 affecting everybody?
Well, again, it's hard to see exactly how the financials of the ABB Group is doing, but it's probably has been impacted, no doubt, by the COVID-19. I mean, the impact of straight away by the loss of food service was a big blow to the beef industry in Ireland, so that definitely would have hurt Goodman's ABP Group. And also we've seen beef prices come back because of that drop-off in consumer demand, but things are starting to pick up again, so I would imagine that there's a bit more. We're seeing a much bigger weekly kill in the beef kill every week now, meaning that there's greater demand, there's a bit more confidence coming back into the trade. So, like most businesses, probably would have experienced a blip over the last number of months.
And finally, Lorcan Allen, AgBiz editor of the Irish Farmers Journal. What age is Larry Goodman now at this stage, and how involved is he still in his business?
Larry Goodman, well into his 80s at this stage, and while he's a very private individual and keeps to himself and rarely seen in the public, my understanding is that he's very much still hands-on in his business, very involved, very, works closely with his management team, his CEOs across his different enterprises, and someone who has certainly, keeps a sharp eye on his business over the years.
We leave it there. Thank you very much. Lorcan Allen, agribusiness editor of the Irish Farmers Journal. The full details of the business empire of Larry Goodman are in the current edition of that paper.